So after doing the eyes on my store-bought mask, I decided I wasn't entirely happy with it, and I decided to start from scratch and try to make my own. Here's a reference photo that I used for most of it. The makeup differs from movie to movie, but this seemed like a good standard for most of the movies. And then I kind of worked out a sketch, some of the key areas where I wanted to put the wounds, and just trying to get the proportions and the expression right. I really don't like a lot of the store-bought masks because they have the teeth showing, and I prefer to have him with his mouth closed. So here's my sculpt. I let the sculpture sit overnight to let the paint dry, and when I woke up I had big cracks running through it where places in the clay had joined when I was covering the head. So I had to spend another few hours doing repairs and then putting another coat of paint on it before I put the clay wall around it. So when I pulled the mask out and looked at it, I just wasn't happy with the eyes. They just didn't look as good as the clay sculpt for some reason. They seemed to be, the upper lid seemed to be a little too heavy, and they kind of made his face just look squunched. So I just went ahead and I cut them out, and then I replaced them with the little rubber poppers like I did on the store-bought mask. You can get those if you're interested at Walmart. You can get them in the party favor section, and they come in a bag that has both perfectly round plastic tops and also the rubber poppers. Both of them are good sizes for eyes. The tops are a little bit bigger than the poppers, but both of them work well if you're using them to sculpt, or in this case, to actually replace the eyes. So I put those in, and then the upper eyelid was still just a little too rounded. He had more of a kind of just lackadaisical look about him, I think. So what I did was I used some blue paper shop towels and some mask latex, and basically kind of just gave him a more furrowed, menacing look. And if you want to know how to do that, you can watch Stiltbeast Studios, Alan Hopp's videos, and he uses that technique to both repair props and just make changes. He uses contact cement a lot of times, but you can use the same mask latex that you use for pouring your mask, or contact cement, just whichever one you prefer. So next up is to paint this guy, and I'm gonna try a new technique. Well, not a new technique, but new to me. Because of all the creases and grooves and divots and all that stuff in his face, this time I'm going to try to do an ink rub out to get those areas, instead of doing a darker base coat and then trying to paint around it, because there's just too many lines to try to paint around by hand. So we'll see how the paint comes out. I put a base coat of some irritated, inflamed pink and more of a normal flesh tone on him. And here he is with the red ink sprayed on, and I'm gonna let it dry just a little bit, and then I'm gonna get the alcohol and rub it off. Here's the final product.